Another day on Rise, another stupid opinion that is gonna run the risk of getting me canceled. What's up, guys? It's your boy Yuya Nagamura, back again for another video. And today I'm gonna be talking about probably one of the very few weapons that I know a little bit better than any other weapon in the game. Now, obviously, this is a weapon that would require me to actually play another Monster Hunters for me to actually fully grasp how it feels in those. But in Rise, I can give you a pretty detailed description on how the weapon should be used, what the purpose of it is, being one of the very few DPS-focused weapons. Whereas, yes, it does have a proper, like, weak point hitbox. There's actually actively two ways people tend to run this weapon. Via A, the way that I do, which is, ha, good luck hitting me, nerd. Where you prioritize things like evasion extender and evasion window to make it to where you don't take damage nearly at all. It allows you to get in and out of combat relatively easy, and it's a very fun but very low damage style to play the weapons. However, there is a way to use this weapon that really does hard lock into its DPS style, which revolves more around critical eye and things like Mind's Eye. Mostly due to the fact that this is a weapon that benefits a lot from you striking the weak points. Because striking something that you might not be, you know, hitting on a good point, you're losing some serious damage, don't get me wrong. But even then, you're still doing quick damage. So the main way that everyone is going to be playing this weapon and the way it's designed is actually pretty bare bones basic when it comes to like how you should be playing it by how the devs intend you to, which is going into demon mode, hitting the monster, building your demon gauge, which is obviously, as you can see, that red bar with the blades at the top of the screen. This allows you to enter Arc Demon Mode, which allows you to keep Demon Mode outside of Demon Mode, which not only improves damage considerably, but also makes your combos slightly faster, and you keep all of the benefits like the speed dash, dodging mechanic, while your gauge has red charge. And after that's done, you know, you're back to this. The goal is to keep that realistically speaking, Dual Blades' main goal is getting into Arc Demon mode, doing some damage, and keeping that Arc Demon mode going essentially the entire fight. This way you can actively be doing the damage that you need while simultaneously just being a super helpful member of the team. Because you're going to be doing a lot of damage, so you're going to draw the attention of the monster a lot more, allowing weapons like Great Sword or Lance or any like super high DPS, or in general any weapons that need to really wait for an opening. It really gives them a lot more openings because you tend to essentially be the focus that's hard to hit. Now, you can play it on the ground or in the air. In Rise, in World, you're mostly going to be playing it on the ground for the most part. But all in all, it really is just a DPS weapon. Like, it's here to do damage, and its goal is pretty basic and simple. By no means does it have any super complicated combos that you need to learn. Realistically, the one bread and butter combo you should know is triangle, circle, triangle, circle. This just allows you to rotate into this infinite, which basically just lets you lay on damage when you have openings. And for the most part, again, just keeping demon mode and your arc demon mode topped off is something you're gonna be doing quite a bit. Just know that it is a very stamina reliant build, so make sure that you do carry stuff like energy drinks or things to regenerate all of your stamina, because at the end of the day, it is worth having. You're going to prioritize having essentially keeping your stamina up, keeping your demon gauge up, worrying about sharpening, because this weapon does eat through sharpness like a fucking whore. But that's why you run the not criticalized mind's eye, so you're not in those situations. And it is pretty base. Again, I'm saying it's basic, but it's only due to the fact of it does have a clear, like, goal in how you use it. But the inner complexities of the weapon really show in not only knowing what kind of demon mode you want to set up, but also, like, how you're using the weapon as a whole in a fight. Because, again, you have this circle combo that allows you to move around the monster pretty well, especially once you start getting things like Evasion Extender and stuff. And then there's, just in general, the goal of keeping your demon mode going is something you really have to get used to. But knowing that you basically are using a weapon that is going to be hyperly aggressive on a monster, you can obviously tell that even hitting in spots where you're not necessarily going to be doing the most damage, you can still do some good damage. Just remember to reposition yourself pretty often and keep moving, because this weapon, whereas it might not take more damage like a bow or a bow gun, you are going to get hit a lot using it. Now, away from the weapon itself's actual uses, what do I think of this weapon? And my opinions have really been all over the place with this weapon. It's a weapon I can see myself playing with friends, mostly largely due to it is a very fun weapon to pull out for those kinds of hunts. Playing alone, it's not really something I'm gonna want to pull out in hunts outside of Rise because of my knowledge with the weapon and the fact that I basically beat the entire game with it. So, needless to say, this is a weapon that by no means is a bad weapon. You can use this weapon as your weapon from the very start of the game to the very end. It's not an expensive weapon to maintain. And it's definitely not a weapon that heavily relies on its, well, for Rise, self-binds. Now, there are some weapons in Rise that do, and a good example would be Switch Axe can actually essentially cheat one of its weakest aspects with the reload system, with the you know, elemental gauge. Whereas the real only thing that this weapon suffers from is eating through sharpness super quickly and eating up stamina, which both of which are maintained within the weapon itself, and items really only help in preserving those two aspects, as well as the silk binds are really only there to serve the purpose of what the weapon can already do natively. Like getting out of dodge quicker, or doing more damage, and benefiting from you hitting the thing, or exploiting a weak point. Like, when it comes to dual blades, the silk binds, it's not a silk bind reliant weapon by any standard of the word. It just has silk binds that help do what the weapon already can do, and as well as what items can do. Because even late into the game, you can actually get a silk bind that allows you to essentially never have to sharpen again, meaning you can essentially be on the monster the entire time, doing damage, and really focusing on being the aggressive DPS machine that the dual blades are made for. Is the weapon, in its little milky numbers, really that bad though? Not really. I honestly, thinking about it logically, it is a weapon that, if I didn't have such a love for Switch Axe and the fact that I really don't enjoy using this weapon alone, it would be something that I could just see myself using in all Monster Hunters in general. It has that feel of not really contributing unless you really understand the weapon as a whole or have used it in solo hunts. Like, again, it's one of those weapons, it doesn't do the highest damage on builds that I have, mostly due to the fact of I'm not set up for it, which is something I'm going to be working on actually actively going forward, because this was the weapon that I started Rise with. And it is a weapon that, even if I don't want to main it in every other Monster Hunter while I'm playing alone, I really should just dedicate to maining this in every Monster Hunter when I'm playing with my friends. Because the thing about that is, the weapon itself only suffers from a few small things when I'm playing alone. Mostly not doing damage that I feel is a good representation of what I'm trying to do, paired with its very bread and butter basic combo strings and its overall simplistic strategy when it comes into going into a fight. But that's also fine, because in all honesty, I feel like hopping into hunts with dual blades and just playing stuff with a friend with it, it is a hyperly aggressive weapon, and I feel like I've always been super unfair with it, because every time I've used it playing with a friend, I can think, okay, yeah, no, I enjoy using this weapon. but I start using it alone, and I start complaining about it for one reason or another. And it's largely due to the fact of it is a weapon that, if you're dedicated to it, it's not a weapon that is going to let you down. It does take some time, don't get me wrong. It might seem like I'm doing low damage, but if you start adding up all of that, all of these multi-hits and things, you can instantly realize that I'm actually doing a lot more damage than some of the other weapons that, whereas, yeah, they get like one big payoff for one reason or another, but I am actively the reason why, like, this thing is constantly focused on me to even let them get those payoffs. And don't get me wrong, like, in fights where you don't really know the monster's moveset and you really want to just lay in some damage, that's one of the nice things about this weapon, is some builds really get you to the point where you're able to just weave in and out of any situation and just go for it. It's a weapon that, no matter how much I change up and evolve as a Monster Hunter player, this was the start for me. And learning some of the combos and just using this against every monster in Rise, and even looking back on it now, even though I might not enjoy using the weapon alone, I do enjoy playing it with friends. And if that's the only time I see this weapon being used by me, I think that's okay. Yeah, it's an adjustment, but the weapon was what made me a Monster Hunter fan in the first place. It was the first weapon I picked up. It was the first weapon I stuck with. Should I have given other weapons a chance at the very start? Yes. But am I glad that I did use this weapon for as long as I did? Absolutely. And that'll never change. This is the start of who I was as a Monster Hunter. And I don't think that will ever truly change. Whereas, I might not stick with the weapon in every Monster Hunter, I definitely will pull it out for a couple hunts with friends. With that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. And honestly, just tell me what your thoughts are on the weapon in the comment section below. Good or bad. I would love to just have some interactions on these videos to see what you guys think of them as well. Also, question of the day. Outside of Monster Hunter, what game would you say that you could sink the most time into? For me, it's Smash Bros. But I'd love to see what your guys' answers are in the comment section. If we can hit 100 followers, even though I've got even though I've got work and stuff, or not 100 followers, 100 likes on this video, which I doubtful. But if we can hit 100 likes, I will be doing a playthrough of a couple games coming up. No spoilers, but one of them is Devil May Cry 5 here on the channel, and I'll be doing that live. So, we don't have to hit the goal. I'd just like to see if we could. If not, it's not a big deal. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.